Hello, welcome to Me Time. And Matt's doing budget invisibility look. So, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Me Time. Oh, yes! It's going to come out so well on the green screen. Absolutely it. Damn, this wasn't the green screen quite. But you couldn't see me though, could you?
Never. What do you
mean? Exactly.
I saw nothing.
Rate how cringe that intro was in the comments.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 16 of Me Time, the finale of the cinema agenda.
Yeah.
The announcement of the... Oh my gosh, what agenda are we on after this? We've done how many agendas? We've done 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be agenda 5. Now on to agenda 6 after this episode.
I've lost count.
Pardon me, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would be that gross. Those poor little tykes on Spotify is just going to have me in their ear. Oh, gosh. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a very close hit to home childhood nerve of ours, being the future. Eh? I'd say with myself, yeah, because we're talking about the future of cinema.
Oh yes, right, yeah.
No, we're going to talk about the past of cinema. So today we're going to get into a little bit of what we think cinema is going to be like in many years to come, where the money should be and where the money currently is, and if there is scope for any hope in cinema as well.
I do hate where it could go. It's like, oh boy, what's going on here?
What do you mean?
Well, if we get integrated VR goggles and whatnot and integrated head chips again, that's a bad time. I did not
hear about that.
Oh man,
that's ridiculous.
It's the only place they can go. They're going, why?
It isn't the only place they can go. It's just a flex.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well dive into the deep end first of all, and raise my concerns. Let's start by being kidnapped again and being taken to the cinema. I'm really struggling to remember my first movie.
I don't know my first movie.
You don't know your first movie?
No.
I want to say, God, that's really harsh. That's really hard for me to remember. I don't know. But I've been going to the cinema for a long time. I've been going a very long time.
You've been going since I've been young.
I've been going since I was young lad. I've been watching movies.
That's all I loved.
I loved it. I've loved it every single time. It felt like a right treat in a room of just darkness, surrounded by like-minded minds watching this movie to escape into another world. And when the movie started to transform and get bigger and better, I fell in love even more. I was like, why is it around me people are starting to get less and less enthusiastic about movies? I was really pondering as I was growing up. Like, why? Because this is where we go to escape. It's not the only place we go to escape, because we've got video games, of course, which is a complete other topic altogether.
Hint for somewhat.
Yeah. But, I mean, why was it that cinema started to slow down? Oh, hello. And started to slow down. More sequels started to churn out. Watch episode 15 of Me Time.
Yeah.
And it just felt like the whole life of cinema had, at the same time as slowing down, started to speed up in quantity over quality. So they started to try to put in too much budget and show off the advancements in tech, and as like, it doesn't feel like there's any soul in this anymore.
I mean, I can't describe to you my first cinema movie I saw, but I do know the experience of like when we went to cinema as like a family. like when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I briefly touched on another episode. But you'd go to cinema and then you'd have a meal, I think, before the cinema, after cinema.
Good. You spoke about this in episode 14.
Yeah. It was more like you'd spend the evening out rather than going to the cinema. Like the cinema was part of the evening out. With everything the way it is now, it's more we go to cinema because we can, and we can just about afford it. But now, like, there's less enjoyment of the experience of the evening. It's more like we're stuck in the cinema for an hour, which seems. I mean, that's probably why I've used. Probably why I've used investing in the seat so much.
It started to change.
Yeah.
When along came streaming. Streaming, we're all familiar with it, and if for whatever reason you're not, essentially platforms where you can access multiple TV series and movies, tailored by the streaming platform, and other movies and other TV series that they gain the rights to sell under their name as well. It was like pay-per-view, but you have access to more and you don't have to pay per item.
Or do you?
Yeah. Now, at the time, when it came out, it seemed like a fantastic idea. And I'll say, I perceived it as oh, wow, cool. Like, Disney Plus got announced, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to get the continuation of Star Wars stuff. We're going to get the continuation of Marvel. We're going to get other Disney things as well. Like, oh wow, there's going to be a lot of fun here. But that's where I feel like cinema got a bit lost, because the one thing I hear nowadays, and I've been guilty of it as well, is when a movie comes out, I ask people, and again, I will put myself under this limelight. I am asked, "You going to go see that in the movies?"
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to wait until I can see it on streaming.
Yeah.
Huh? Why? Do you think it's going to be a bad movie? Is it the experience that you dislike? Or is it the thought of the movie that you dislike? If you want to wait until it comes onto streaming, I feel as though it's not the indifference of the movie, it's the indifference of the experience.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll wait for something to come on streaming if I don't think the movie's going to be good. Like, touching on Gladiator 2 from the previous episode, like, I only saw Gladiator 2 because it went into streaming.
Yeah.
Because I kind of got a bad vibe from the trailer. I was like, I'm not quite sure on this one. And then I was proven right. But, there's previous other sort of movies there going, I'll wait for this one on streaming just for curiosity watch rather than I'm going to enjoy viewing this movie.
But I'm guilty for saying that for Transformers 1. And this is going back to episode 14. The marketing and advertising for Transformers 1 was naff. I disliked it. It made everything far too comical. It portrayed transformations as a superpower granted to Transformers, not something that they are all inherently capable of doing. The movie, when you go to watch it, will explain it very differently. They are all capable, but it was taken away from them.
Yeah.
Why and how? That is something that the movie explores, which was really cool. But they didn't do that in the marketing. The marketing really made people like myself not keen to see it. And when my friend asked me, "You going to go watch it? Would you like to come and watch it with me?" I said, "Nah, don't like the look of it. It looks boring. I think this is the end of Transformers movies." And unfortunately, I was right, but unfortunately, I was wrong. I was right about it being the end of Transformers movies. I was wrong about it being bad. It was great. One of the best Transformers movies I have seen to this date. And I watched it on this TV, and I was gutted absolutely gutted because the story was fantastic. And we're now not going to get another Transformers movie. It's very unlikely we're going to get another Transformers movie because the money was not there. Because for something or another, they tailored it too much to one target audience when it should have been tailored to many. And this is where the whole money-making method, because it's Hasbro, they ultimately want to sell toys, which is totally fine. You know, this is where people have dubbed it the unaliving of cinema.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
I mean, there's a lot of films. I mean, films in general are marketing tool, granted. I mean, there's old movies where like they'll have Coke as a sponsor, and some character drinks Coke in the cans specifically placed in a certain way for that product. And granted, that's fine if it doesn't impact the story. It's when it becomes more obvious whether the film's crap. They haven't thought about the film. They just want, we just want another character we can release as a toy, sort of thing. And like, you're better off not having a movie and just releasing the character as a toy, rather than putting all that money into it.
I felt as though that was what Marvel movies became. This is something that we can sell. Let's use a character. Like, take for example the Eternals. Let's take these vague characters that we're not familiar with, and make a movie out of it. Have we seen or heard anything about the Eternals since? No. They threw a plot thread of the Eternals into the latest Captain America movie. I heard that did well. Yeah. So if you didn't see me roll my eyes, I rolled my eyes. It's just they sold the toys after that. It became a one-note Marvel movie, irrelevant essentially. I could be wrong. The Eternals could be coming back.
I'd be very surprised.
I'd be surprised and all, but it just became less of a reward to go to the cinema, more of a completionist activity. You know, people felt as though they weren't being rewarded. I'm not being specific to Marvel here. It just feels as though these movies try to be something that they're not, to get money, and therefore people feel as though they're wasting their time. This isn't necessarily my opinion on the attention span of individuals as well.
It's definitely a factor.
It is definitely a factor. I've had many people say to me, I don't like movies because they're too long, I get bored, I get sleepy, and I feel as though I can't pay attention to it more. And therefore they prefer a TV series. So therefore streaming succeeds. They have so many TV series. They have movies that you can pause and come back to whenever you like. TV series that are either 20-minute episodic things or an hour-long episode, and you can come back to it another time. And then you've got all of this other gobbledygook that you can get engaged in as well. I would say streaming would succeed over cinema there. But...
yeah.
And this is a big, big but. Where does the money truly deserve to go?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing with streaming is like, the money doesn't go to the movie producer or actor, or whatever. I mean, there's divisions where you watch it and it does, but it wouldn't be as much as if you were to watch a movie, from what I understand. There's viewership sort of payments for the directors and actors, from what I understand, but the bulk of the money goes to the streaming service. I know cinemas, you can't really avoid it. You can't really avoid that either, because cinemas do the same thing where the part of the marketing, like they get a cut out of the film
Mm.
to then show it. So you can't avoid it entirely. But it almost seems like if you were going to watch it a film, it seems like there's a better divide in the cuts between actors, directors, and the cinema companies compared to what streaming service provides.
I will say in this economy, I get it. An average of 10 quid a ticket to go see a movie in the cinema. I get it. People need this money to live. If you think about it, though, a cinema ticket isn't £10 to see a movie. It is £10 to pay the environment that you're in.
Yeah,
You've got a seat that could recline or could not recline. You've got a surround sound system. They're going to turn up the music big time, turn down the lights. They're there to look after you. You've got access to all of these snacks as well, and they're fully aware that the cost of their snacks are high because they have to keep a high money. They have to make the price quite high.
Yeah. For the rent of the...
Yeah. So they allow you to bring your own snacks in. They never used to, but now they do, which is good. So you're paying for the whole experience. You're also getting exclusive content to trailers of other movies as well that you might like to see. And in my opinion, you're paying the directors and the actors and the actresses. I wouldn't... Respect is one thing. I wouldn't say it's the main thing. You're respecting them because you're still respecting them by watching their movie even outside of the theatre. You know, long after the movie's debuted. But it's just appreciation for the effort and the time that this director and the whole cast has put into this movie, and you're experiencing it the way it's meant to be. And it's just, it's tough. It is tough.
I mean, the reality is you can't recreate the experience in your home. Just unless you're some millionaire. But to the average Joe, you can't recreate
the movie experience.
No, you can't really have a extremely dark room.
Excuse me.
That is, completely silent. With a big old surround system. Not everybody owns that, and if someone does own that, it's a very low likelihood.
It would be very unfair of me to not mention what COVID did to cinema. Very unfair, because we weren't allowed to go to the cinema. We weren't. So streaming became queen, essentially. It was all we could really do. Oh, it's tickling my throat, my goodness. To watch movies, and movies that were slated to release in cinema through the thick of lockdown released on streaming instead. I remember Godzilla vs. Kong was a movie that I was very excited to see in the movies, but I couldn't because it was lockdown. So what they did was, when the movie was slated to release, they said cinema home release special. You pay the full amount that you would for a movie to watch it in your home screen. And it wasn't the same. It wasn't. It made me very, very sad. It just felt as though, why am I watching this big blockbuster movie on my little screen?
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch it on my little screen, it would be after the experience was done.
Yeah.
And granted, there are movies that were created 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that you're not likely to see in a cinema again, which is fine. Watching it on your home screen then is a blessing that you get to see such a product again. So streaming and DVDs is a saviour there. But when you can go to the cinema and you just choose not to, it's just, I don't You know, it's just sad how far it's come.
Yeah.
How it's just an issue of money, time, and it doesn't help that a lot of movies that come out get a lot of the slack, and of course we spoke about this in the previous episode. Like they're there to make money because COVID hit cinema hard. No one could see the movies. The budget went down. So all of these companies, they gotta get it back big time. Gotta make a big comeback. But this
At what cost?
yeah, but this injury, the injury to the world and the job industry, at what cost? You have to make movies that are solely there to make money. Makes you really think a little bit deeper about the produce that Disney create, but at the same time, you think, is it still necessary? You're a conglomerate that owns so many things. Why do you need to make money when you always will for the rest of your days?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really owner of Disney anymore. It's more just shareholders, for understand. I mean, you hear Bob Iger a lot as someone who's got a high seat at the table, sort of thing. But in regards to who actually owns Disney, really, some faceless guys sitting behind a big old table somewhere, probably, who we don't see. But like, if Disney was to collapse, you know,
Yay! No,
yeah,
sorry.
you know, staff gets fired, Disneyland shuts down, all sort of stuff. You know that the guys at the top are going to walk away just fine. Now, granted, whether I like that idea or not, they've kind of earned their place. As much as that grinds my gears, you know, that's fair. That's kind of right. You know, they'll walk. If Disney was to collapse, they'll walk away fine, and they won't have a care in the world, sort of thing. So it should make sense to some degree that if they can afford to do that, why aren't you creating quality content? If you've effectively got all the time in the world, theoretically speaking, like, you're not rushed because you won't go bankrupt. I mean, you will. You could do. I'll be very surprised if it did. But like, there's no rush to kick out movies for the sake of kicking out movies.
Yeah.
Like, they can take their time, but they can properly think about stuff. Sort of. From what I hear about the employees, but anyway, that's sort of you know, they should be able to create some decent stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't. They just kick out some crap and sort of say it's a movie. It's like, no, it's not. Try again.
This is, yeah. I was saying to you before we started recording, soul is missing. And when I say soul, I mean passion, a message, a core, almost belief, or just this constant throughout a series or a show or a movie that comes across in the way that it is acted, directed, and produced, and that is lacking in a lot of the current movies. So I'm upset, but I'm not surprised that not a lot of people go to the cinema anymore, and the attitude of the general theatre sitting down on seats, falling asleep, and being on their phones. It never used to be like that. And compare it to streaming, and we'll bring in Disney into this as Disney Plus as well. When the streaming became popular for being a library of things that you could watch, how do you stand out from the rest when other companies realize that streaming is currently making a lot of hot money right now? How do you stick out? You make original content, which is fair enough. Netflix wouldn't be what it is without their Netflix original series.
Yeah.
Because if it was just a library of general movies and TV shows, then it would be pay-per-view. It wouldn't be, I was just like, I could just get this from the shop. But one would pay for Netflix to watch the Netflix original content as well as the other content that is likewise available in a shop. Now, whether they started on a sole-based operation or whether not is yet to be sort of like realized. But I would say streaming is following a similar pattern, whether we like it or not, to cinema in itself at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you had an observation that we were talking about just a minute ago that I didn't even realise, but it made sense. You're thinking, oh crap.
Yeah.
But no, your observation is like that they drop in original sort of
Content.
series or movies, and then they raise the prices. Here they go. Oh yeah, crud.
But they do it in a very
It's
in a very spaced, subtle way.
Yeah.
For instance, Squid Game 2 came out last year. Loads of people subscribed to. If you unsubscribe from Netflix, the only way that you would watch Squid Game 2, the big, like, oh my gosh, the fad of 2018, 2019, like, oh, everyone loves Squid Game. You didn't watch Squid Game. What are you doing?
I watched neither.
Have you not watched Squid Game?
No.
No, I've seen Series 1. Series 1 was pretty good. I prefer Alice in Borderland. Another Netflix original that was actually pretty damn good. Based off of a manga. So there you go. That's why it was good. But, you know, when this content came out, I then started noticing loads of people complaining about the prices are raising. And then, when you think about it, affordable streaming comes with adverts.
Yeah.
With a movie in the
Was
cinema,
subtle.
you get movies at the start. You don't. I remember there was a joke in the Simpsons movie when they made a joke because they weren't technically owned by 20th Century Fox. They were funded by them. So the amount of jokes that they could make about 20th Century Fox was unlimited. There was a moment in the movie that flew over my head as a kid that as an adult I laughed so hard at. It was an advert of 20th Century Fox in the movie, basically saying, like, tune in to this channel at this time on Fox. Yeah, that's right. We're so greedy. We're advertising in the middle of movies now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That's so funny. But you still don't see that in cinema. You see product placement, sure.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't go, time for 1 minute advert.
Yeah.
YouTube, Netflix, Crunchyroll, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. If you're paying for the average subscription, your program's getting broken up by adverts.
Yeah,
it breaks the immersion.
Yeah, poor man cinema. You got also the ads now. It's like, do I have to?
It makes you resent. It makes you resent the adverts. People buy ad blocks for YouTube.
Well, I almost don't even think the ads in the middle of the film doesn't even work anyway, because the amount of times that I'll skip an ad button, I'll do it, and I don't care what the product's supposedly supposed to try and sell me.
But that's it.
It's like, oh, buy this new thing. Oh, great! I'll just go and get poor again somewhere else. It's like, nah, I don't care about your product. I want to just enjoy this film, have this moment, bugger off whatever company's trying to sell me something.
It's so hard for adverts to make money nowadays because no one cares.
Yeah.
You click on something or you go to the movie to see that thing. But then your time almost feels like it's been strung along by a brief minute of adverts.
Yeah, it's only 60 seconds.
For me,
watch the movie, it's like, feels like a minute. What are you doing? I can't skip the side of what's going on.
It just breaks it. It just ruins it for me. And then you have the mindless scrolling as well. You're not going to go to a cinema and go, oh, I don't know. I don't know what I want to watch. You've got a finite choice for a cinema. You either go to the cinema and watch something new, or you don't. With streaming, we're getting to a place in time where they're taking stuff off and adding stuff back on for entertainment value and making their own original content. And I have sat there personally for almost an hour with other people that I want to enjoy this experience with, and we have not watched a single thing. Because we can't decide. It's not that too much choice is a bad thing. It's a great thing to have a lot of choice. But it ruins it. I have to say.
Yeah.
The immersion of this experience, you almost tailor it. It ruins it in the regard that you're being too picky, and when you're too picky, you start doubting your choice.
Yeah.
When you go, oh, I'll add this to the maybe list, you come back a day later and go, I don't really want to watch that. Someone recommends to me a TV show. If a certain someone is watching and listening to this, trust me, probably that I will be watching that show soon. I promise. Please don't hit me. Lost track there. But then you just forget about these shows. You forget about these movies. And when the choice isn't explicitly given to you, sometimes what I have been told, being too finicky and too indecisive, the moment is gone.
Yeah.
And when the moment goes, you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And when you can't be bothered, that's when you start going oh, why is money coming out of my account for this subscription a month? Oh, why am I still paying for this sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm going through a cycle now where I'll subscribe to one, unsubscribe from the others, and then if something cool comes on, then I'll subscribe to that one, and I'll subscribe from various other things. And the subscription agencies hate it because I'm one of those guys. But you kind of go, and it's the only effective way to watch stuff without being completely screwed over every single time.
Right.
But we haven't touched on it yet. But I still enjoy putting a DVD on, and it's not the same as a cinema, granted.
No, of course not.
But something about you put your DVD in the DVD player, it starts whirring, and you know your film's going on. You can pause and play just like a streaming service. But you put your DVD on, but you know exactly what film you're watching, and for whatever reason, the writing in that DVD film is a lot stronger. The characters you invest in more, and it's like, I'm going to sit down, relax, enjoy this film with, I don't know, a beer and some popcorn or whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the streaming services, because they're trying to cram so much content onto one place, it's all crap in regards, just
mindless, soulless.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They put on some older films with some better writing, just sort of to sprinkle it in there as some seasoning or whatever. Yeah. But in regards to what you're actually trying to watch and scroll, there's not a lot on there. There's not a lot that even fulfills you really. I touched on it briefly on a previous episode again, but Good Will Hunting, the first, this is a DVD film that I just picked up.
Such a good film.
After watching that film, I was there going, wow, the message it's trying to give to me is worth a lot. I can take this message and use it. And you come out of that film kind of going, it was relaxing and it was worth it, and I feel happy for viewing it. that you don't really get many gems in regards, like, you know, something like Good Will Hunting these days, or you know, Mrs. Doubtfire, you know,
Because
um, like I say, I'd go for Robin Williams films because it probably is one to sort of remember. But there's sort of maybe Gladiator as well, sort of like.
Robin Williams was in Gladiator. I'm kidding.
No, yeah. There's a twist. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That would be funny.
Boy, howdy.
Is
it going to be a gladiator right now? Oh!
First Night Museum film. I think that was
Wow.
just before the streaming services came in.
Night at the Museum. What a great. That's a good callback.
Yeah. Sort of like you came out those films and like they had some messages in there, but you come out the film somewhat happy.
A short, sweet, simple message.
Yeah, and I don't know, the films you get these days, they're kind of, they sort of flap around subjects. They don't have a clue what they're talking about, and it's like,
no, they don't. Yeah, you're right. They try to be something that they're not.
But you know, there's some soulless bloke in a boardroom going, "Oh, put this message," and they're going, "What are you on? Has your money deceived you?"
Mm.
And probably the director or writers, they're going, "Do I have to follow this bloke's advice, or this woman's advice, or whatever?" Because you know, yeah, it's sort of like I'm always, to a degree, it always comes to a stage where you almost earn too much, and then you just you sort of split from reality, and then you just sort of I don't even know how you can describe it, but like it almost feels like they just can't empathize with the work with like normal people, so they just hold on to something that they think is relevant, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not relevant at all because they haven't really worked day in their life. I say they've had to work previously, probably to earn their position, but they probably hit that threshold of money, and then it becomes delusional, and they can't relate to where they came from. And then at that point, you get the people who are still working kind of going, and they're probably listening to this bloke who's probably got some power, or this woman who's got some power, who's got some big old corporate back going, "I'll write this crap in because I think it's relevant." It's like, no, shut up. Go on your yacht. go spend time on your yacht and just don't play charity, because you can't play charity anymore. You've earned past reality.
So for me, there's two things I want to say in response to that. Number one is the aspect of binging that people seem to get into, and it's normally the people I notice that say movies aren't for me because I have a short attention span and I just get really bored. I'll notice that there's only a few people, mind you, this could be a very broad statement and not relative to many people, will be able to sit down and binge a couple of episodes back to back. And then I question and go, what do you mean you have a short attention span when you're able to sit down and just fuel yourself with all of these TV episodes back to back?
Fair observation. That's a good shout. Yeah.
You don't have a short attention span. You care more about having this product more.
Yeah.
That in that you view a movie as boring because it's over. The whole thing is over in 2.5 hours. That's it. Story done. Immersion done. I wonder whether it is the fact that they don't want it to end, or whether it's the opposite, that they do want it to end. You know, it's so take the example of they don't want it to end with the short attention span. The episodes consistently going on and on and on. You just want this story to just be there, these same characters just to be there, and the immersion to not end. But then on the opposite side, where you do want it to end, this short attention span, you've got an hour or a 20-minute episode, and then this thing is done. You feel as though you can tick a box and you can move on to the next thing. The new episode is going to be different framework. It's going to be a different setup, a different part of the story, a different gimmick. So it's just that in itself is just people's preference.
Yeah, I think I've always said this. Like I don't watch short form content. I don't have TikTok, and I don't really watch it, to be honest. Like I just invest in whatever I decide to watch on that day or whatever. And what I find is when I do see someone show me a short form clip or whatever, it's very loud.
Yeah.
And sort of, it's very loud. It's got some sort of music in it or something, and the frames are all quite chaotic. Maybe is the best way to describe it. So there's a lot going on in that sort of short 2 minutes, but there's not. So there's a lot going on visually, but mentally there's not a lot going on really.
Yeah.
There's nothing for you to sort of. There's nothing for your mind to grab onto. It's just, this is a thing, and this is short. Enjoy sort of thing.
It's more entertaining now for products to just state what it is straight away. Get straight into it straight away, and then for it to be done. And that's the aspect of binging. For example, pretend this is a phone. It's a bar of chocolate. I've got the camera here is the TV. I've got an episode of, I don't know, a true crime documentary going on because that seems to be popular for some bloody reason. And this is how I sit down and I watch the episode.
Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, no, I'm definitely guilty of that.
And then I guarantee you, the next day I'll be going up to my friends and go, "Oh, have you seen this true crime documentary?" Like, so are you viewing this as status now? The fact that you have quote unquote seen something is no longer a reward of immersion, experience, and the love that humans have put into a product. It's you saying, "Oh yeah, you really need to watch this," after you clearly didn't care about it.
If I'm going to take my own actions on doing that, I guess. Right, if I am going to be called to attention to a certain scene on that film or TV show, like it'll either be a really intense dialogue scene or a really cool fight. One, because the dialogue scenes tend to sort of be deeper and they seem to have a lot more going for them, and the fights just because they're cool.
That's it.
But so like, but it's funny. I won't do that with Good Will Hunting, Gladiator, Robin Hood, all those sort of older films.
Yeah.
But I will do that with sort of more recent content.
Yeah.
Which probably speaks to the idea that the older films are a lot richer in content compared to the newer films that are just...
Yeah.
They try it, but just don't seem to succeed in it.
So, after speaking very passionately and almost heated about the differences between, and I'd say very bold similarities between streaming and cinema. It's just another type of cinema. But with the prices going up in streaming and the prices going up in cinema, it's only a matter of time before something else has got to come into the fray. Something else is coming in. So will cinema be obsolete? In my opinion,
Hope you enjoyed the episode so far. if you are, like, comment, and subscribe, and continue watching.
I don't think so. And that's more or less the core of my whole being that creates me and drives me. That's more based on hope.
I like it to be a renaissance. Like, it's sort of a brief sort of.
It's still possible.
A brief sort of pit in history, maybe. That's probably not the best way to describe it, but that sort of brief sort of break where cinema doesn't do very well, and then it sort of becomes a thing again. And if I'm being totally honest, I'd like streaming services to die completely.
I mean, I don't have any time for any streaming. When someone recommends to me a TV show or a movie on a streaming platform, can't do it. Because I'm paying more for streaming than I ever would a cinema experience. I'm not going to go to the cinema every now and again. I mean all the time, you know? And if I want to watch something, I'll get it on pay-per-view, or grab a DVD off at the shelf, and that's just a one-time purchase. Yeah. With all of these different streaming platforms, like all of these various different things, I'm easily losing like 40, 50 quid a month.
Yeah, even
80. If I've got multiple streaming platforms,
even 80 with like new ones coming in that you may have to give it a try because there's a new series, like, and you know you can't even blame people for purchasing subscribers because
it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault.
It's like with it. I'm very much guilty of subscribing to streaming services as well. But like
I've done it.
Just the how do I phrase it? Just. Like, I'm guilty of it, but I would like it to die a very slow death. Like, I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Like, it would be like I still have a box of DVDs in my room that I will get a DVD player for, and I will watch my DVDs. I'll probably watch my DVDs once I get it all set up, and then watch that, and then I'll probably get rid of my streaming service and buy DVDs again. I mean, I'm still on iTunes and still buy music. I don't stream music either. I don't really do Spotify.
We do because me times on
Spotify. I'm old school. I'll purchase things because I enjoy the purchase and I enjoy the experience of that purchase.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I still pay for iTunes and I still pay for films, and everyone goes, why'd you do this? It's not economically smart again. I know it's not economically smart, but I own it kind of. Like, it is mine. With iTunes, there's a slight flaw in that idea because iTunes again is an online service, so that could always crash and die and burn or whatever. But in the grand scheme of things, I do still own that song. And I do still own that film. As soon as prices get too high, I am priced out of streaming services. I no longer own the access to those films because they are now taken away.
I like that. I do. Because with streaming, immersion is still possible, but the experience is over. The experience is in the ground. The experience is reward for. I know this is something that I have just said over and over on this agenda, but we, as an intelligent audience, want to analyse and break apart this world and get invested in it. With streaming services releasing an entire TV series as a quote-unquote movie, not like weekly, but all of it straight away, it's just there's no love in that. It feels as though that the extensive amount of time that has been put into a TV series, which would be longer than a movie in some scenarios, it feels as though that there's no care. It's as though, oh, there you go, this is it. Let's go on to the next one. Just no care.
Yeah, I'm gonna slightly bounce off to a completely different subject, but it's kind of runs the same sort of thing about leasing cars.
About what?
Leasing cars. Everyone's there going, "Oh, I lease this car. I own it." It's like, no, you don't. It's sort of the same sort. It's a subscription for a vehicle. It's like,
Right.
no, you don't own it. The company can very rarely just take it away from you.
Suppose so.
It's sort of a subscription-based model in general. Like, you don't own anything until you forget the payment or and it's like, well, take it away from you now. You can't have this anymore. It's like, I want to own this, and I get the choice to sell it if I am running out of money.
Yeah.
If I don't have the choice to sell it, I'm screwed because I don't own it.
Right.
And I must deal with the problems I must deal with the problems because I own this platform, I own this film, I own, I have to take more care of it as well because I own it.
I get that. And look, I feel as though we've been quite negative, and it's for I will say that Elliott and I, it's very hard for us not to be about streaming because we don't like it. We don't. It just, Elliott and I hope you as well, are lovers of stories and experience and just diving in to the product that has been really, hopefully, been lovingly made. And that deserves merit. But I will caveat slightly and say, how then, if you're then listening to this or watching this podcast entry, if you say that cinema is supposed to come back and streaming should end, how do you suppose that happened then? How do you've been saying a lot about why you think streaming isn't okay and why you think cinema is going down the pit. So what would you do about it then? Well, I'm very glad that you're thinking that, because this is the producer scroll. So first of all, marketing. Marketing's got to change, big time.
Yeah.
The marketing that I believe really works with movies is the multimedia aspect. I remember when posters of a movie came out and they had a website link at the bottom of it. You type that website link in, boom, takes you straight to the trailer page, and loads of photos and exclusive content come up being like, this movie is on its way, you get ready. We need that stuff again. Interactivity, investigation, get really hyped about that movie coming out.
Well, I actually even remember the posters being just generally sort of visually exciting.
Yes.
Compared to what you get now, sort of, some bright colours, but it's all quite static, I think, probably. It's the best way to describe it, but marketing, everything has to hit you kind of to sort of intrigue you.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to what you've got now, it's all quite dull.
Yeah.
But that'll only come through if they're writing through, because then marketing, they've got something, they've got a hook that they can then work with, and then they can then work off that hook maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say humans have always been curious about human nature. So there is no surprise in the fact that the most popular thing on streaming at the moment is murder mysteries, crime dramas, and documentaries about people going to prison.
Yeah.
So that is only popular because we're curious about who did it, what's really going on here. Why did that person do a terrible thing? There must be a reason. It is genuine human nature to do that. So why would cinema not utilize that? I would say. I'm not saying crime has to be the answer. Not literally. Make more crime movies. I'm saying use that aspect about human nature for investigation to make the audience try to piece things together before a movie. Because when we were watching trailers sometimes, we'd scratch our heads and go, what? But a trailer is a 3-minute long thing, and if you're just solely basing things off of that trailer, then it's just not going to hook people as much as they used to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing. I think we are still seeing trailers probably where they'll actually spoil the movie.
Yeah,
Like they give you the whole plot of the movie. It's like, oh, okay. So why should I go watch it? Although I do like the thing that they are doing currently, where they'll with CG. But anyway, it's still a good fit. It's still a clever thing where they'll put a character in that isn't in the scene, but it looks like it should be in the scene, and then you watch the film and they're going, "Oh crap, that scene didn't even happen all of a sudden," and you don't know where it came from, and it actually completely changes the aspect of the film that you're watching.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, that's clever.
My favourite trailer of all time is the trailer for Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Because the first trailer, because we're given nothing. We're given nothing but the fallout of the first movie, and that's it. The trailer ends when it's revealed to us that Scott Lang is still alive. That's it. They're basically the Russo brothers were just like, cool, see you next time. And I remember everyone begging them to not release another trailer, begging them and said, "This is enough. Let us like think and theorize what is going to happen. Yeah. We want this experience to be a reward and a big experience, you know."
Well, you get to. I mean, you sort of just touched on it. You get to think of an idea, and think of what the possibilities of that movie could be compared to what you get now. It's like, oh, this is the movie on the trailer.
Yeah, so, it's not necessarily having to be something new, which is what we always think cinema and streaming needs to be. The next best thing. Yeah. How am I going to get noticed? Yeah. Do I need to put in that viral dance from TikTok into my movie somewhere? Let's do the whip and the nay nay like the kids do on the Tok Tick, yeah?
It says TikTok dance on podcast. What are you doing?
Let's stand up and start. Yeah. The thumbnail is just Elliott and I just flossing. That mean they're boomers.
Yeah. Don't do that, please.
But no, it doesn't have to be the next best thing. It doesn't have to be a new thing. It just needs to be heard and noticed. And cinema needs to go about ways of doing it. Like, I really liked the what they did with Thunderbolts, with the asterisk. People were wondering what the asterisk was, and then with the posters, they tore it away to reveal the new title, which wasn't a spoiler for people that had seen the movie and then seen the new title afterwards. It was curiosity as to why they were called that. That was a very subtle step in the right direction for advertising and marketing, I believe, Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
It just needs more of it. I do think, like, with some solo movies that come out and everyone's like, why were there no trailers or posters about this thing and now it's suddenly coming out? It's because there's just no thought process into it anymore. There's more thought process on the actual product than there is trailers and the way to get through to things as well. I think one of my favourite marketing strategies of all time had to be for a video game. I know we're talking about movies, but I'm saying this is something that a movie could do. For Halo 5, one of my least favourite Halo games.
Oh,
I thought the marketing for that was spot on.
Okay.
Because they released the trailer, making us believe that Master Chief went off the rails and he went rogue, and then they released a podcast online for the next year and almost 2 years called Hunt the Truth, where it was an audio story that you would follow, and it would build this mystery about what was going on. And it made you believe that Master Chief had truly gone off the rails, and there was truly an evil plot going on about the production of AI. The AI. It was revealed that AI was just it. Of course, it was human intelligence, literally the brain redacted from a person that was currently in the process of unaliving, and then they just converted that and just converted it into AI matter. So AI was revealed to be like immaterial humans, essentially.
Oh, damn!
It was dark. I thought Halo was going in a really dark direction, and then they released a Halo anniversary game with exclusive Halo 5 cutscenes, hyping and preluding to what the game could be. And then they released the beta of the Halo as well, and then they released Hunt the Truth. #Team Chief, #Team Lock as well. You take posters next to the people that you truly thought was in the right. Team Chief, Team Lock, and it was going to be a proper rivalry story. And then, at long last, the game came out, and everyone was like, yes, excellent. And had absolutely nothing to do with any of that. #Hunt the Truth my arse.
Yeah.
You played as Spartan Locke for the entire campaign, and the only time that you played as Master Chief, you didn't go up against Spartan Locke. You didn't go up against Oni or the UNSC. You just jumped away from it all, and there's only 1 2-minute cutscene of Master Chief and Locke fighting one another, and that's it. You don't even get to fight one another. You just watch it happen.
That sucks.
But the marketing was great.
Yeah.
This is just it. The product was bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the marketing was genius. Because I was I was so hooked on that Hunt the Truth podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every movie should do this, but this is just a strategy. How you sell a movie is what you need to think about whilst you're making the movie. As soon as you make the movie and go, oh crap, how do I advertise this? Therein lies the problem of this generation. You need to hook an audience not just through a trailer, but through its marketing. It's the representation of an experience should be compelling, and you want people to get invested in it long before the movie comes out. So how are you going to break the mold of that? Don't worry about the content. That's your swan song. That's your beauty. It's just how you get people to hear you, and new and different ways of maybe going on websites or scanning QR codes, or maybe mysterious TikToks coming out of just like 2 minutes of just utter silence, and then you have to reverse the audio to find out that this is the dialogue from the first bit of the movie, and that's cool.
Yeah.
The human race, there's a lot of idiots out there. Don't get me wrong, but the human race are smart buggers. Kids, adults, elderly, anyone alike. We're smarter than we give credit to, Give the people the content that not only they deserve, that they need.
I maybe even probably go as far as say, like, take risks again.
Some of that,
like
Western culture. I mean, sorry, not Western culture. Anime.
Well,
it consistently does.
Like if you're like in a marketing, if you're like in marketing agency, and like, your boss is trying to tell you to do one thing, and you probably feel like you've got a better idea. Try and go for it if you can, without losing your job, hopefully, because we are dealing with a cutthroat corporate industry. But like, like if there's like something unique or something that you want to kind of go for, if you can try and negotiate where to use it rather than going with, here's the framework we've been given for this movie or this product, so we need to use this framework because the company has paid us to do this. Is like, but I can do this better.
Should never be the case.
Yeah.
There should never be a quota.
Yeah.
Because there's no need for a quota. if you want to create something, you should create it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, of course they need a framework to work around. Otherwise, you wouldn't have an idea as to what direction you need to go for.
Yeah.
But in that same breath, you also need someone to sort of look outside that frame and kind of go,
yeah,
I can change this and make this better and go in this direction. We don't get it so much these days of like try and think for yourself is probably not the best way to describe it, but sort of like you don't get very much encouragement for sort of thinking on your own terms. It's like you must think in this corporate manner, and you can't think about how this problem is solved. We've told you how to solve this problem, so you must solve this problem this way. It's like, no, I've got another way. I'm going to try this. And the other thing is, like, again, we touched on like I think episode 1 or episode 2, like mistakes. Like mistakes can be either really really bad, or they could be like happy mistakes where the mistakes actually end up doing something cool.
Yeah.
We're sort of living sort of like this sort of weird sort of like sanitary sort of environment where it's like, oh no, everything must be perfect, everything must be sort of clean and must be clean and sort of can't be dirty and can't be grey. It's like, no, it's black or white. It's like, no, just try experiment.
But how we relate to movies is through our own experience. To experience something, you must understand, or at least begin to comprehend a curiosity of how this relates to our history as the human race. Now, if it's a fictitious world where humans don't exist, that's something different entirely. So when humanity is represented in that's intriguing. Take Django Unchained as an example.
That's a surprisingly good film.
Hey?
That was a surprisingly good film.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And the whole element at that film is racism. It is.
Yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino does it spectacularly. So, because it's awful. You can't deny of the history of slavery in this world. And what does Tarantino do? He picks it up by the rough and gives it the big middle finger in a celebration of basically just like, oh my gosh, don't you just love this? A story of a slave rising up through the niceties of Dr. King Schultz, and he rises up and he revolts and he takes revenge on all of the slave traders and owners that have done him and his wife wrong. And it is a hoorah moment to history, but recognizing what the world was. It wasn't perfect. It was ugly. I'm not saying, because the ugly world was that, we could tell that story. Like, no, obviously, the world being that way was an awful thing. But it is an education. Without that knowledge, that movie wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah.
Which is a very good movie in itself, and I love Tarantino in the fact that he still takes risks with his film as well. Again, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being another risk that he took, with a very controversial death of I can't remember the female celebrity's name. That's really bad. The one that home invasion with the hippies.
Oh, no idea.
No, it was a good movie, but he twisted the story that the hippies went to the wrong house, and they were the ones that ended up getting unalived. But it's just these twists and turns of the stuff that we know and the stuff that we don't as well that makes things so flavoursome, colourful, and passionate to humanity. We shouldn't ignore who we are as an individual and the world around us, because if we do, then It's just... I liken it to a tyre. A tyre with rough edges and loads of tread depth that's cut into it is a tyre that is stable and grips to the gravel. If the tyre is completely smooth with no treads and it looks sublime and perfect, you're going to skid and your car's going to crash.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
The tyre needs crack. And I'm not saying humans need cracks and crevices. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we need detail, we need knowledge, we need to realise that the world that we're running through, that the tyre is driving through, has many potholes and many distances and many harsh environments to go through. And if we're better prepared and suited to the world around us, doesn't necessarily mean fighting back against the world, but if we're better equipped to the world around us, then we can experience it the way that we should do, in a safer way.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just like la da 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 to the world, then you're just like
yeah. What's going on? I don't know.
It's going to take you by surprise when you suddenly start skidding on the road. You're like, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I said back in episode 14, like, there needs to be people that take you away, but then we're back to cinema. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about there are moments that you need to pull into the drive-through and have a little bit of a break, you know? The whole thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah.
This has been a very challenging but fun topic to talk about. You know?
I think it's trying to sort of work out without being a dick about it, sort of like, you know, where are people's incomes and like how would you balance it without coming off like an arsehole?
Yeah, but I get it. It goes back to that really controversial statement of like, it's my opinion. And yes, everyone has their opinions, which is completely valid, totally valid. And we should praise other people's opinions, whether or not you accept it or reject it or not. That's not your moment to use that as ammunition against you. It's not ammunition. It never has been. And even if it is directed as ammunition, it's just reevaluate that. Come on. We're just, if anything, this me time is trying to stress the fact that experience of enjoyment should still exist, and we should still promote and love that.
Yeah, I would probably go even further and probably get a bit deeper in just the fact that like it probably even go as far as they try and revive the human experience.
It's a good one.
You know, like I touched on it briefly. I think was it on this one or the previous one? Can't remember. You know, the sort of materialistic side of things. Like everyone's sort of, I want to purchase fast cars and whatnot. Like, do you really? How lonely are you? Sort of thing. It's like, and there's always the rebuttal that I keep hearing. It's like, but I have lots of women because I got fast cars. Like, great. Are any of them decent, or are they just models and they look nice? It's like, oh, great. They a nice person? No idea, but they pay me money in good times. Like, okay, you've got nothing going on for you. But no, it's the quality of people and the quality of the human experience that we're trying to sort of revive.
You know, it's just fun. I think us as the human race need to just
accept we're slightly flawed a bit. Experience life a bit.
You know, it's fun again.
Yeah. I'm
going forward with life with just being fun and ignoring the way that the world is it's at the same time as it being slightly naive. I think it's a bit better to embrace things that we once enjoyed again, and just for every now and again through all of just this gobbledygook and sitting down on a sofa and just doing nothing, and then sitting up and just thinking that, oh, there's nothing that I'm really enjoying with my life at the moment, and things are going awful, and I don't like my job, and this, that, and the other. There should be moments where you just walk away, you take a deep breath of fresh air, get in your car, go out with your friends, and you just escape to this dark room full of sound, colour, and love and life, and switch off from the outside world. Oh, wow. That was a big lead up moment to that quote that one person said. Switch off from the outside world. Did that pick up? Dude. Sorry.
yeah.
I really deeply wanted to talk into the microphone. It's just a boom. Little bit of a shit. Oh man. But yeah, that's what cinema is. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. It doesn't need to be status. It doesn't need to be film after film after film after film. It is just it is for us.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird catch-22, isn't it? Where like you want to be able to think and mull ideas over and escape, but at the same time you don't want to just escape to another political advert that's been advertised as a film. It's like, okay, I want to just like I get enough politics as it is out on the outside world. I just watch this film and enjoy it. Like, I'm open to all those types of discussions, and that's fine. But like, when you want to go watch a film just because it's nice to go see it, rather than, oh, I now feel crap because this film brought up this thing. Now I've got to go back to work and feel crap again because I don't enjoy my work and stuff. Not that I do currently. I do enjoy my work.
So do I.
But there's been times in the past where I've got to clock back into work tomorrow, and this film is crap. Why did I go watch that sort of thing? And don't get me wrong, like, when you went to go film when you went to go watch films when we were younger, like some of those experiences where you go out for dinner and you watch a film, you come out again, it was okay, it wasn't alright, but like, I don't know, it seems to be more consistent these days. Like, you come out of a film and you go, I'll clock back into work tomorrow. Because you just haven't got that sort of positive escape. It's like, oh, okay, here's what it is. But yeah, no.
Yeah. And it's sad that this escapism that cinema once granted has been washed over by other things. Because cinema was the source of that once before, and then you had like video rental stores and DVDs that you would buy. It just felt so royal. You could experience these things for a moment of bliss. Video games, we'll touch that when we eventually talk about them as well. We've gone through the same sort of fad, where they have to be the next best thing, where they once were before just video games that you either choose to play or you don't. And it was still an experience. It just it feels as though it's got to be next best. And the state of immersion has now been reduced to mindless scrolling. And we're better than that. We're just so much better than that.
Yeah, I'd probably caveat mindless scrolling. Mindless scrolling has got slightly, like, the scrolling is escaping.
Oh, it is.
At the same time, it's not. It's kind of it's a weird one. Like most people are sort of suffering with stress and whatnot, and what they're working, so they just scroll and
I'm
trying
guilty
to forget.
I'm so guilty of it. Every time I sit down to do a piece of work or want to crack on with something or go about my day, I feel myself picking up my phone and just going, bip, bip, bip. And I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? Whoa.
Like, everyone does it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right in front of you, but
I'm no exception to the mindless scrolling. If anything, I'm like one of the biggest candidates of it. I am.
But I almost think that's because I kind of get the impression like that's almost because the community sort of died a bit, so everyone's there going, I can't say hello, so I'll just scroll and do stuff or something.
I find I mindless scroll when I'm nervous.
Yeah, I think most people do.
When I'm nervous, when I don't want to do something, or when I'm nervous, I pick up my phone and I procrastinate. It's easy. It's just short form entertainment that distracts you. But that's not immersion, that's distracting.
Yeah.
If anything, it's procrastination. Oops, microphone, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of keep repeating it, so I apologise again, but like, try and say hello to somebody again. Sort of say hello, see how they're doing, the short, how's your day? Get something going, see if they're alright or not. Yeah.
And it does depress me slightly when something happens in public or in a movie and then the majority of people around me go, I saw that on TikTok once.
No.
Could you not read a book? Or say that you learned it in school? Or that just like, yes, you saw it on TikTok. Can't change that fact. But it just feels like we're rewarding mindless scrolling now.
Yeah.
We're validating it. And yeah, sure, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And if anything, I don't want it to. If anything, it should slightly change and improve in aspects and areas. But again, cinema should use that. Yeah. Cinema should use the capability to do the scrolling on social media to its advantage. But we're in a culture now where short attention spans are validated, and we do need longer attention spans again in order not only to appreciate proper experience and humanity, but to learn, to really notice what true love should be. And if we're blinkered to a short vision of love and experience and fun, then we're very unintentionally and indirectly biased, and the short term is going to ruin something that could very much be for you, you know? And if we're speaking in the lens of cinema, if you sit down and watch 10 minutes of a movie and go, done, bored, like, have you given it its proper time? Yeah, sure, when the credits roll and you'll be like, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fine. Cool. You didn't like that movie. But if you ever say that about Lord of the Rings, then 1v1. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not everyone is a fan of Lord of the Rings. But how? I mean, how? But yeah, I mean, not everything is for everyone. That's just it. Like, people have to realise that not everyone doesn't like everything. And that's what makes us individual, that's what makes us unique, and that's what makes us special as people. We're all different. We all live on the same planet, but we all have our differences, and that makes us beautifully unique and powerful. And the fact that with movies, we're expected to all like the same thing, that was never, ever the case, even all the way back to the 30s and the 40s. Yeah. Very few movies came out then.
Yeah.
And people weren't expected to like them when they came out. Oh, let's go for a jolly old watch of the movies. Watch what in the cinema? No, I'd rather read the newspaper.
Yeah.
You bloody hypocrites. Come here and watch the movie with me. What?
Yeah.
You're not going to get any of that. You'll just be like spiffing. Put on the pot of tea or something like that. Yeah, they do. I'm making this stuff up now. I'm getting a little bit lost. But, I feel like I'm still kind of getting my point across. Like, cinema and the way things are going, with how it's panning out, it's just, we need to celebrate humanity again.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I feel like it's there. It's coming. It's coming.
I think the sort of humanitarian revolutions kind of sort of thing. Like,
God, I love humans, man. I love us. We do.
Revival of the soul.
You know,
needs to come
we're
back.
getting. I can so feel it with cinema. I can so feel it with humanity. That's like, come on, guys. Come on. It's just, I just got so much energy for positivity and the way things could be. It's just, you just got to do it. We just got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, kind of end it on a positive note, I guess.
Yeah,
like
well, I thought we were.
yeah, that's
thought
what,
this was positive.
yeah. Like, I don't know, just try to sort of, like, it'd be nice to sort of enough voices are heard in the same sort of context that, like, the soul of cinema sort of comes back, and like you sort of enjoy the characters evolving again. That be, you know, that's where that's where it's sort of, we're back in it sort of thing. We're back. Yeah.
Oh yes, I mean, we can't get rid of sequels and remakes anytime soon. We've just got to tailor it, you know. But
which means don't be afraid to share your opinion if a film's crap.
Exactly.
Say it, and hopefully someone's listening.
Learn to love again.
Yeah, and in the same breath, if you're looking at a movie, learn to take criticism and be okay with it. Then we can get some good stuff going on.
Learn to love again. Where is the love? Yeah. Okay, I think that puts a very haphazardly tied bow on top of the present of the 5th agenda of cinema. Yeah. This has been an interesting one for us. Some very lovely feedback with the episodes so far. So we've it feels a bit odd us going about the agendas this way, but I feel like we're getting somewhere, and we're really liking the new vibe of the conversations, aren't we?
Warming to it.
Yeah, we are warming to it. Which brings us to next week's episode. My goodness, 17.
Yeah,
wow.
We are
starting the 6th agenda of Me Time. Do you remember what that 6th agenda is, Elliot?
No.
You don't remember.
We read it before we start, and again, I remember, and then it gets to the end of the other again. I've forgotten. Crap, what we're doing.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because this might interest all of you. We're not going to be talking about video games as our next agenda, because you thought we foreshadowed that at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
No, that's not what's next. We're going to be talking about art.
Yeah.
So what art are we going to be talking about specifically? A whole variety of forms. Why don't we start with episode 17 being the art of manga, of graphic novels, and of anime and animations that bring the graphic novels to life as well. We'll start there, and we branch our way out, and we'll be talking a little bit more about concept art, character designs, how some actresses and actors look on screen with the costumes that they're wearing, the cinematography shots as well. So we're going to be very analytical of the drawn and the presented and the artistic elements for the next 3 episodes. So that might not have been what you were expecting us to talk about next.
Could be very broad.
Oh gosh, I am very looking forward to this.
Yeah.
As an artist myself, I've got a lot of talking points to get across here as well. Hashtag save the animators.
I just paint miniatures.
Yeah, I know. Animators have lives.
Yeah.
If anyone has told you that they're an animator, you give them a pat on the back and you tell them, well done. you're awesome, because they rock. Animators rock. It's such a tricky job.
Skilled.
And yeah, they're so skilled. And the fact that they're breaking their sanity to produce content, and then some people turn around and go, "Oh, the animation weren't great that episode." Shut up. Can you do better?
Yeah.
Doubtful. Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week with episode 17. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Watch out for me, Tom Mike.